Hello, I'm Gregg Jarrett in New York. A key focus of the trial against George Zimmerman is whether he acted in self-defense. And to illustrate this idea, a former criminal litigation teacher of Zimmerman's was questioned about the concept and what could actually be considered self-defense.
The focus is what's going on in the person's mind, not whether they have actually been injured. It's the fear of the injury, is it not?
It's imminent injury, imminent fear. So the fact alone that there isn't an injury doesn't necessarily mean that the person did not have a reasonable apprehension of fear. Mm-hmm. The fact that there were injuries have a tendency to show or support that that person had a reasonable apprehension of fear. But the fact that there wasn't an injury at all doesn't necessarily mean there was a reasonable apprehension of fear.
A firearms expert illustrated for the jury how exactly to use George Zimmerman's firearm.
I'll use my left just so you can see. One more.
And that's all someone would need to do to fire a shot if it was fully loaded?
Yes.
Later, she was asked about the state of the weapon after the shooting.
Do you recall how many cartridges were with the firearm you received?
I received 7 cartridges total.
And the magazine holds how many?
7.
All right. So if that firearm had been fired with 7 in the magazine, does that mean that someone had to place a live round in the chamber?
With the way I received it with 6 in the magazine and an additional 1, it would be consistent with the magazine fully loaded and 1 in the chamber at the time it was fired.
And a crime lab analyst testified to the presence of DNA under Trayvon Martin's fingernails and on George Zimmerman's clothes.
And in this case, because the DNA profile matched Trayvon Martin, that means there were no DNA foreign to him on that sample.
In other words, from the right fingernail scrapings of Trayvon Martin, you did not find any of George Zimmerman's DNA there. Is that correct?
No, there was nothing foreign to Trayvon Martin.
And that particular stain, Trayvon Martin is included as a possible contributor. Where was that stain on the defendant's jacket, sir?
Stain U was located on the cuff of the... It was kind of on the bottom of the right-hand cuff.
29-year-old Zimmerman, a former neighborhood watch volunteer, is on trial for fatally shooting Trayvon Martin, an unarmed 17-year-old, last year. Zimmerman pleading not guilty to second-degree murder, claiming he acted in self-defense. For gavel-to-gavel coverage of the trial, go to foxnews.com/Zimmerman. In New York, I'm Gregg Jarrett, Fox News.